In December of 2007, I was borderline obese. My son had just turned 1 and begun putting words together. I began to get nervous, wondering what he was going to say. You know what they say, out of the mouths of babes, right? Then it hit me. The last thing I ever wanted to hear my son say to me was, "Dad, you're fat." I knew it was time for a change. I wasn't going to let it happen. Later on that month, I was up late on a Saturday night flipping through the channels, and I saw that there was a UFC pay-per-view on, so I bought it. Every time the fighters would come to the cage, I would think to myself, these guys look awesome. This is what I would want to look like. Earlier in my life, I had tried a multi-level marketing thing that focused on personal development a lot. Didn't even realize what I was into at the time, how much value I could have taken from that. But the one thing that I remembered the most was that if there's a lifestyle that you want to live, or there's something that you want to do, you need to find yourself someone who's doing it and go learn from them. That's the fastest way to get there. So on January 2nd, 2008, it was the second because they were closed on the 1st, I walked into a local martial arts studio where they had a focus on mixed martial arts. During that first time being there, I was put into a leg triangle choke 2 times by the same person. I looked at him dead in his eyes and asked him, "How the fuck did you do that? And how the fuck do I stop you from doing that?" And I proceeded to fall in love with jiu-jitsu from that moment on. While practicing jiu-jitsu, I also fell in love with teaching. I remember the first time I taught somebody how to do an armbar and it clicked. That was so powerful. Their eyes got so big. I felt so full. And I would try to help people as much as I can from there on out. I went on to fight 6 amateur fights. On my 6th fight, I got hit in the face really hard. I had a record of 3-3. And that last loss it shook me. I was like, I just don't like getting hit in the face anymore. So I'm going to go focus on jiu-jitsu. I met an amazing jiu-jitsu coach by the name of Jeff Reese. Top notch. And I went and spent a day with him. Picked his brain about opening up a jiu-jitsu studio because I knew that's what I wanted to be doing. I wanted to be teaching. And while I was there, he started doing a workout. And I was like, "Yo, man, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm doing power cleans. You want to do them?" I was like, "Cool, I've never done it before." So went over to do some power cleans. I got pissed off because he was smaller than me and could lift more weight than me. And then he showed me CrossFit.com for the first time. I was like, "Yo, this is cool. This will be great to supplement my jiu-jitsu and get stronger and faster." I drank the Kool-Aid hard. I went into CrossFit so much that it put jiu-jitsu on the back burner for me. Primarily because I was able to recognize that I was going to be able to build a business out of CrossFit a lot faster than I was going to be able to out of jiu-jitsu. The barrier to entry was just a lot lower. I didn't need to wait for my black belt. I was just able to go get my level 1 and start coaching. So I did everything in my power to go get my level 1. Begged, borrowed, stealed. I didn't steal. I'm just kidding. Throughout the years of coaching CrossFit, I began to recognize that people set their goals and they do good for a little bit of time and then they run into a wall. And I didn't understand how they could be doing so good for a little bit of time and then just stop, just fall off. So I found a book called Mind Gym by Gary Mack, and it's a sports psychology book, and I read that, and I really started putting the pieces of the puzzle together of how important it was to train your brain along with your mind so you can, along with your body so you can stay on course. And I also read Relentless by Tim Grover, which is another it's a sport, another sports psychology book, and just I dove into the mental side of things. I started listening to podcasts, and just getting as much information on the mental aspect of physical training as I could. This was how I was able to recognize what people were doing that was holding them back. And it was great knowing what the problem was. Wherein lied the problem now was I still couldn't solve the problem. Then I found the power of language, the power of the stories we tell ourselves, and the power of the breath. And once I was able to work through some of that stuff on my own, being coached, it really hit me that this is the glue that holds clients to their physical training. This is the missing piece of the puzzle. Being able to take a client who has told me time and time again that, yo man, when things get too hard, I'm just going to give up. I stop seeing results, I'm just going to quit. Okay. How do you feel when you stop seeing results? Do you remember a time in your life when you felt like that before? Tell me that story. Let's work through this. Then the magic started happening. The client was showing up to the gym more. The client took charge of his nutrition better. And the client has now gotten some amazing results. It's so valuable. And I get fired up just thinking about it. This is the stuff that makes me tick. This is what has me excited to put my feet on the floor at 4 a.m., knowing that I possess the ability to empower people to make their lives better. This is what brings me the most joy in my coaching right now. And that's how I got here.